Welcome folks to this episode of the Shoney Show, and today we're talking about how do you find the most effective marketing strategies specifically for your business. Now, the reason for this is because unbeknown to you, potentially, off the back of all the marketing messages that you get hit with and everything you hear out there are no one-fits-all frameworks, one single strategies that if you implement this, you'll get the same result as that person and that person and that person and that person. So every single strategy out there, we look at the tried and tested ones, but we have to work them into our own businesses and see how they work for us. We all have different price points. We have different niches. We have different audiences. We have different experiences. We have different copy. We have different images. We have so many variables that we need to look for the tried and tested strategies out there, the different little tweaks that we can do as well. And we need to work through them to apply them to our business in the safest way possible to find the ones that are most effective. And we're going to look at that in detail in this framework right here that you can use to go and find out what works for your business. And so the very first thing that you need to do is you need new information. So if you're going to find new amazing marketing strategies for your business, things that are going to work better than the things you're currently doing, then you need new information. Sitting down and looking at the stuff that you currently do and looking how you can just tweak it slightly and expecting 3x, 4x, 5x, 6x the results, it's just not going to happen. You need new information. And so I'm going to run through a few ways in which I look for new information all the time. And if you follow me on Instagram, for example, you'll notice that every single day I get about 2 hours of learning in, and I do them from different means across the way. The very first thing is audiobooks. Audiobooks are incredible. I use Audible for my audiobooks, and you can get packages of 2 credits, 4 credits, and you can add additional credits per month so that it's just a direct debit. You get a notification to say your 2 credits, your 4 credits, whatever, are available. Then you can just go into Audible and you can find new information that you're looking for, and you can download them at what is the equivalent of about £6 a book. Now, on top of that, you can dictate when you do it. You can do it when you're commuting, when you're walking, when you're doing the dishes, when you're having a shower. These are just some examples of when I use them. And something that I absolutely love as well is that you can adjust the speed. I'm not a quick reader, I don't think, when I'm looking at a book, and my mind wanders as well. Whereas when I'm listening to audio, I learn way better. I learn faster, I retain more of the knowledge, and I can walk for an hour and get to where I'm going, having listened to an audiobook, and have a bunch of the ideas ready in my head to write down so that I don't forget them and I can utilize them into my business. So I'm always getting new information that way. The breadth of what you can find through Audible is absolutely insane. There's not many world-class books out there now that don't have an audio version. And something that I didn't mention there that I absolutely love is that you can adjust the speed. So just like you can adjust the speed of this podcast, whether you're on YouTube or iTunes, you can adjust the speed of this podcast. You can also do exactly the same with audiobooks. And professional audiobook places tend to teach people how to speak slower, because when we can't see their mouth, there's a chance that we don't pick up things as well. However, I find that I pick up things absolutely fine. So people speak quite slowly, and it might be, say, a 7-hour audiobook, but I can listen to it on 2x speed, retain all the information, and I've managed to get through a book in a 3.5-hour car journey. I absolutely love the fact that I can do a whole car journey to Inverness from Glasgow, and I can have completed a book. That is an insane amount of knowledge that you can get when otherwise it's just 3.5 hours of dead time listening to the radio. Secondly, podcasts. So the information in podcasts, I mean, you're listening to this, so you must be bought into them. But the information that you can get from a single podcast completely for free is insane. And the great thing is there tends to just be like 2 or 3 absolute golden nuggets, so you're not overwhelmed with information. Quite often, marketing, business, mindset, all these self-development things, when that is the sort of niche, I guess, of the podcast, you tend to find that every single episode has one key outcome. Just like all the ones I do, there's like one key outcome that I'm trying to get for the person who's listening to it. So it makes it really, really easy to just do it as almost like a habit. 20-minute episode here, 30-minute episode there. You can just do it in the morning. It's like half an hour learning, and I get a new strategy every single day, a new way of thinking every single day. I find that so invaluable. Events. Going to events. Man, I absolutely love events. I think that if I was listening to the same stuff through a podcast that I hear somebody with passion deliver from stage, I think I would retain more from the event. I'm more in the right frame of mind when I'm at an event, when it's a business and marketing event, because the ones that I tend to go to, I can tell there's a lot of energy around it. There's people hyped up in the room. There's like-minded people there. So we're not there to switch off like we've been forced to be there. We're all like, we can't wait for the next speaker because we're dying to hear what they have to say. Taking notes there. And as a bit of a side note for that one, taking notes when you're taking them from books, audiobooks, events, something that I learned recently from watching a lot of Jim Quick stuff. Again, so I was learning through podcasts here. Jim Quick was talking about how when you are taking notes, if you really want to retain this stuff and also get the most out of it, it's a twofold benefit here. Then draw a line down the middle of your page, and on the left-hand side, take notes based on what they're saying. And on the right-hand side, write down notes based on how you will apply it to whatever your business, your life is. A great tip there, something that I'm already implementing, finding it's really, really useful. Because on the right-hand side of your notes from a podcast or an audiobook or an event, tends to just be tons of actionable steps on how you get from A to B. Absolutely love that one. Programs. So 16-week digital marketing program, other programs. I join programs non-stop. So I obviously, Facebook and Instagram might have picked up by now that I'm interested in business, marketing, self-development. So all of the ads that I see in my newsfeed are about marketing programs, Facebook ads, business growth, self-development, all of that stuff. Now, whenever it lands in my newsfeed, they've pretty much got me, because I'm always interested when people say that they've found the secret to this type of result or a brand new framework, even though the majority of time it is complete bullshit when they say it's like one single framework for everybody, for example. But I buy them all. So I buy all of these and I just put it into the start of my day. My day always starts with about an hour of sort of focused learning. So I'll still do my audiobooks and stuff if I'm walking into town, or if I'm going to the gym, audiobooks or podcasts. But the first hour of every day, once I've obviously had my cup of tea or my cup of coffee, is I go for about an hour of learning from programs, trainings, free ebooks, free video training series, anything that's basically come into my Instagram newsfeed or Facebook newsfeed as an advert. And I think that they might have credentials and there might be something to learn here. What I do is I either buy it or I get access to it if it's free. And then when I get that automatic email back saying, here's your download or here's your logins, what I do straight away is I put it into a folder in my Outlook that is trainings. And so I just dive into there every morning and I'm like, right, what am I going to take a look at today? And I'm just looking for one little nugget each time. If I can find one little nugget, it might be that the framework is a load of crap, but outside of the framework, there was like one little tweak. It might even be the way they're delivering the training. And I might go, that's a really good way to deliver that. And so there's something to learn everywhere if you're going in with your eyes open. Number 5, and the last one here that I've got written down for the learning where you can find this new information, is talking to other business owners. Talking to other business owners is so valuable. I try to find time every single week to catch up in person with a couple of business owners that I love hanging out with. Big up to Joe Parrish, who will be listening. I catch up with him every Friday if I can, and every single time we schedule a couple of hours in a coffee shop, and we'll be there for 3 or 4, and we'll just be riffing off each other. It'll be motivating, but it'll also be giving each other ideas and strategies for different things. It might be marketing wise, but it might also just be right down into like business financials, for example. Find it really effective. And what I found with the program is people get incredible value from the private group, which, I mean, like, yesterday alone, it ended up with 9 questions posted in the group yesterday from members. And then inside those questions were just full-blown discussions by other program members helping each other out before I even got into the group to actually go and throw my 2 cents in for everything as well. And then on the weekly lives, it's gone from people just asking me questions to people asking me questions and me opening up the floor to anybody who wants to come on screen as well and share their experience of what somebody's having an issue with. Having that group mentality is so unbelievably effective. We do it at the mentorship as well. So, like, I'll go around the room continuously with people when they're working on their strategy or their implementation. But even though I've helped them and they're there for my support specifically, we still bring everybody together around the table multiple times across the 2 days to share what they're working on, because the group has different ideas all the time. So speaking to other business owners is an absolutely huge one. Okay, so number 1 is find new information. So you've got to learn. Number 2 is you have to implement. So you have to implement on a small scale. So for me, I see tons of people get the ideas and they either don't implement. That's just not in their nature. Some people are a total struggle to get them to implement stuff. On the other side of things, maybe they implement, but then they go gung-ho with it. They hear somebody else talk about the amazing results they're getting, and then they go and set up their very first Facebook advert at £150 a day because they already know what that person said in their Facebook advert. They know the result that they got, and they just want to replicate it. But any strategy you hear should always be started out on a small scale. Even when it is an email autoresponder, for example. When I set up my email autoresponder so that people can get 2 strategies every single week, the first thing I did was I sent a small amount of traffic to it because I wanted to see for a week how effective the autoresponder was in deliverability, in open rates, in click-through rates, where people visiting the website off the back of it, were anybody booking calls off the back of it, was anybody buying anything off the back of it. I wanted to see how effective it was so I could tweak it and make it better before doing any scalability on it. I wasn't just going to go, an email autoresponder, fantastic. I know these things, fantastic. No, you start everything on a small scale and you go up from there. Number 3 is measure. You need to measure the objective and you need to really see if something worked for you. So first and foremost, if we bring it back to Facebook ads, if you are hearing about somebody's strategy that they're doing in Facebook ads and they're making a lot of money or getting a lot of book calls or getting a lot of people onto their email list, but they're not measuring, or you're not going to measure those set things, then you're going to be at a huge disadvantage here. You're going to be guessing. So a lot of the time, people are measuring the complete wrong thing. They're measuring how many people saw the advert. They're measuring how many link clicks they got. They're measuring how many landing page views they got on their website. That wasn't the objective here. We weren't trying to get in front of people. We weren't trying to get link clicks. We were trying to get email addresses or booked calls or sales. So we need to measure to see what actually worked and what didn't. That is probably the most fundamental thing here, actually, out of all of it. If you're not measuring, you're just going to completely fall on your ass every time with any new strategy, because you just don't know if it actually worked or it actually didn't. You're just guessing. Number 4 is remove, adjust, or scale. So once you've measured, the great thing is you just know. You just know. Did it work? Did it not work? Or did it kind of work? If it kind of worked, then that's why I say adjust. Because something that kind of worked could just need a small tweak. Might just need a different image there. It might just need a different headline there. It might just need a step removed. Any sort of marketing strategy that kind of worked has potential. If it didn't work at all, I just remove it. That's the great thing about marketing. We don't need to spend £50,000 on a billboard campaign anymore to get an idea out there. We can test things on a £3 a day ad spend. A lot of stuff that we can test out completely for free. Instagram poll method. You can make sales whilst you're watching Netflix tonight. Free. And if it didn't work for you, you can tweak it and you can see if it worked the next time. If it doesn't work for you at all, then it doesn't work for you. Happy days. It's fine. You can go on to the next strategy. But it will work for you, by the way. Instagram poll method works for everybody. It's great. And then scale on the other side of it. So adjust if it's kind of working. Remove if it is just an absolute dead dog and didn't do a single thing. And then on the other side of it, scale. So if this really worked for you, you started on a small budget or you basically implemented on a small scale. So now this is your opportunity to scale up and to get in front of more people with the same strategy. And that is when things can go absolutely bonkers for you. The people in the program who have absolutely killed it, let's talk about specifically Facebook adverts. Every single one of them started on £3 a day. They tested a few different things at £3 a day. They worked out what works well for them, and then they scaled up from there. And that's when they started getting incredible results for sort of like £5,000 ad spend here, £50,000 return, or running one messenger ad and going from 0 to now 205 members in his gym in 5 months. Those types of things are not on £3 a day anymore. They're significantly higher spend, and that's what you need to do here as well. You need to look at things, test them on a small scale, and if they work, you need to scale them up. That's how we go from moving the business forward to exponentially growing the business. And that's it. That's the 4. That's the 4. So you're going out there to find new information. You need new information. Then you need to implement that information on a small scale to remove the risk and also to test many things at once. You need to measure it to know if it worked or it didn't work. And then number 4, you need to either remove it, adjust it, or scale it. And that's how you find the things that work for your business. So like we're always talking about how messenger ads are absolutely incredible now. You know what? So sometimes they're not a good fit for people. Sometimes they can look like they work on the Facebook ads dashboard because they get loads of conversations started at next to no money at all. But then they're selling something at a higher price point. It's bringing in a lot of tire kickers. It's wasting a lot of time. Then it didn't work. So you need to look right across the board and go, right, where are the tried and tested methods? Where are the things I can bank on with high probability? Where can I get an abundance of information and I can test them all on a small scale to see what's going to work for my business and not other people's businesses? It's great to see that something has worked for somebody else's business because there's then a high probability that it'll work for yours too. But it's never a guarantee. So that's why we need to spend a lot of time. I don't mean that you need to spend full days and full days and full days, but take it into your daily habits to look for new information every single day and just look for that one golden nugget that you can test out and you can apply it to your marketing, to your business. Some things can be incredibly simple, incredibly quick to implement, and then they could have exponential results. So what you want to do is you want to look for the information, you want to implement it on a small scale, you want to measure, and then you want to either remove it, adjust it, or scale it. And when you find those absolute nuggets that fly, scale that thing to the sky. And I did not mean to do that with the rhyming. That is, that's just years of listening to hip hop. Yeah. Well, once I give up the digital marketing in a couple of years' time, I'll maybe look into a rap career. This has been the Shoney Show. I hope it's brought you a ton of value. I hope it will become part of your daily routine, if it isn't already, for you to seek out new information, new ideas for your business, and then you go through that super simple 4-step process to find absolute killer campaigns for your business. This has been the Shoney Show. It's been great having you. Please like, subscribe, share, tag this on Instagram stories, and I'll share it into mine. All of that good stuff. And like I said last time, if you subscribe on YouTube and then leave a comment, and then you subscribe on iTunes and leave a review, screenshot both of them, send me them on Instagram, and absolute no strings attached, I will give you a half-hour strategy session, and we'll just look at your business and look for 2 or 3 killer strategies that you can go and implement into your business right now. All right, much love, folks. Have a great day, and I will see you next time on